Hello everyone and welcome back to another Lorcana video here, and we're diving into the finals of the Ink Inc CCQ that happened over the last weekend. So this is the first North American CCQ that's happened with Winterspell. So really excited to dive in. Our finals is between LuxFerrante, who's playing Amethyst Steel, and we have Sailor, who's playing Dogs on the right side of your screen. So we're gonna dive into both of these players a bit more as we keep going. But let's dive into this game. If you haven't subscribed to the channel or liked the video, those help the channel out a lot. We would appreciate that a ton. This help out more than you think. I think I saw the stats that 96% of you haven't subscribed yet. So yeah, really appreciate it if you do subscribe. And I also want to give a shout out to JDZ Quest who streamed this. If you want to watch the full day 1 and day 2 of the CCQ, go check out his channel. You can watch the full VODs. I'm just doing my best to chop these things up for you so that you, if you don't have all day to like go through the VODs, have something here for you as well. So yeah, that's what's going on here. So, and of course you can see all the other people who are part of the CCQ on the bottom right hand corner of your screen as well. So like Color is Law. We have like Wonderland from Maelstrom. Anyways, a lot of people involved with this one. So anyways, we'll jump into the game here. So like I said, we have Purple Steel versus Dogs here. And again, I think it's really interesting for this set because this set was known to be a set that Blurple was gonna reign supreme, right? Blurple was gonna reign supreme, and everyone was kind of worried that the finals of all the tournaments might just be Blurple mirrors. And so it's fun to see that we have Purple Steel and Dogs here. I mean, of course, if you're anything like me, you wish Purple Steel might go away, but it's still here, right? And so anyway, so watching what Sailor's doing here. So Sailor developed a Daisy on turn 1 into a Willow, turn 2 into a Lady, because that Willow allows you to take one off the first card you play on that turn. So, and that activates on the turn you play Willow as well. So that allows him to get down 2 cards on turn 2. And that's the power of this dog deck, right? Is that it can just very, very quickly ramp up here into doing what it wants. And the Purple Steel player is obviously going to do the thing that it's always doing, where it's just curving out beautifully here, right? So we see Captain Hook on 1 into the Calhoun on 2 into Cheshire Cat on 3. So there's a really great curve out here. This is exactly the curve that you want to see from the Purple Steel player. He's going to quest with the Calhoun and Captain Hook to go to 3. Yeah, really exciting. And, if you follow Sailor on social medias, he put out a thread today that was, pretty interesting about talking about Dogs being the new control deck, which is really funny to think about because Dogs was thought about as a control or as a aggro deck early on, and now it really is a nice control deck. And if you know Sailor, he was a guy who played red purple, he played green blue last set, right? So he's a control player. So seeing him play Dogs is interesting. But that's why he's playing it. It is a good control deck, and we're gonna see why in this series. Hopefully, if Sailor can do the things he wants to do, with all the things you can do in control with Dogs. So anyway, so he goes another Willow, goes into a Nani, which allows him to look at the top 4 cards of his hands, and pull out a character that costs 2 or less, and he pulls out that Tramp, and that Tramp's really important. Really important in this deck because. You're a lot of times as the Dogs player, you're going super, super wide, right? And because you're going super, super wide, that Tramp allows you to give a character attack equal to the number of cards you have on the board. So that allows, in this situation, he'd be able to give +4 to something for the turn, which would allow him to, hit anything that's on, anything that is on Lux's side of the board. So anyway, so it's a good card because of that, and that's why this deck, is, that's, a lot of people are calling for the ban of that card because it's very, very powerful, and it just allows you to take out almost anything, like any card that exists other than evasive cards. But if he exerts this Calhoun, obviously the Nani can just hit into it, but that Tramp will allow, he could hit the Daisy Duck into it, right? And would be able to take it down. Daisy Duck would live. So anyway, it's just a lot of interesting options with that Tramp if it comes into play here. And the cool thing about that Tramp is he plays for 1 less whenever you have a Lady on the board. So I think he can play for 0 if he wanted to play it, which is, pretty good. And he might get down. So Big Tramp here is interesting because he could play for 2, right? Because Big Tramp costs 7, -4 for the characters, -1 for Willow to play for 2. So that would allow him to start searching for cards. And he's running an interesting version of dogs where he's not running Emerald Chromacon, which most people would consider to be really important, especially in his purple matchups. So he's not running in his deck, and obviously, both players know that he's not running it because it's open deck list in the bracket portion of the tournament. So, like it's something that Lux doesn't have to run around, like he doesn't have to play around. You can see he has at least one Dahlia Moon in his hands. There's a Lilo. I think he might have two Dahlia Moons in his hand. So yeah, he's playing a good interesting style game here, because if he can get under the sea and be able to sink it, that Dahlia Moon will allow him to target Angel, Calhoun, or Cheshire Cat, and get them below 2 strength, which would then allow Under the Sea to hit. So that's kind of what the quote unquote control version of this deck does, is just allows that Under the Sea to really get some good value. The problem for Sailor here is he doesn't have Big Tramp, right? Like if he has Big Tramp, easy turn here. Play your Big Tramp, try to find your Under the Sea, and then pass it back over. But okay, so he is going to hard cast Dahlia Moon onto the Calhoun. So let's let him draw a card. He draws into another Willow, which he can play. He can play this turn for what he has on the board, because that Willow hasn't been activated yet this turn. So we might see that Willow come down. We are going to see that Willow come down. We're going to see that Tramp come down as well, because like what I mentioned before the turn started, -1 for the Lady, -1 for the Willow. Daisy Duck now with the Tramp power up can hit Calhoun and take it out, and because he used Dahlia Moon on it, it only did one damage. So again, good turn here for Sailor. And so now we'll see him probably clean up this Captain Hook as well. Yeah, and Angel for Lux is a really good card this matchup, especially because these Purple Steel players are like going back into Yzma, as opposed to as opposed to other draw options. Just really refill your hand quickly, so that you can just continue to use Angel over and over and over again. So Sailor decided to go Lady and Willow into the Captain Hook instead of hitting Nani into it. I think that's just to keep Nani alive, because it's a 3/3, 3 cost. That's a good singer for him. And the Willow, like he has another Willow, so like having 2 Willows out at this point in the game is not too helpful for him, just because he doesn't have the cards in his hand to like get that value for both. So we could see like a Cheshire Cat boost here from the Lady onto the Willow to take it out, and then take out to the Lady afterwards. Like a lot of options here, right? Cheshire Cat could hit into Daisy Duck, boost it, move off. We see a Genie come down. Okay, so boost is not going to be an option here. So let's see what he decides to do instead. Okay. Okay, interesting. So he's going to sing Strength onto that Nani, and then 1 card left in his hand. Angel can the last card in his hand is a Calhoun. So he is going to discard the Calhoun to activate Angel's ability to take out the Willow, and now he can attack with the Angel if he decides to. Yeah, tough call here, because if he exerts Angel, there's a good chance Angel doesn't exist next turn. And again, that's just such an important card, for his deck, especially against dogs. Anyways, he does decide to take that out, and then pass it back over to Sailor. So let's see what Sailor can do at this point. So he plays his Bobby, which allows him to dump that Lilo, which always feels good, because that means that you can just play it from your discard for free. Does he have anything else to play this turn? I think he's still sitting on 1 Dahlia Moon in his hands. which for Sailor, like he doesn't want to play them without hitting Under the Seas because that kind of eliminates the value of that card a little bit, but he might just have to. He could Dahlia Moon, the Angel, or the Cheshire Cat and take it out with his characters, and then they would all live, and he would get to draw an extra card here. Okay, he has Under the Sea now. But he's only got 3, 5. He's only got 6 cost worth of singers on the board, which makes this tough, right? Because if he had it, he could, obviously the way he would play this would be quite different. But now he's got to decide whether it's worth sitting back. If he sits back, Angel can just continue to snipe off a character per turn with Angel's ability if Lux decides to do so. So I think he might end up. I think he has to take out Angel, but then Cheshire Cat's still such a good value as well because Cheshire Cat's going to get take out 2 characters as well. So yeah, Sailor's in a rough spot here for sure. Yeah, definitely a tough spot, and again, not exactly sure what the right play is here. He is going to sing Dahlia Moon onto Angel. He draws for that. I think he just drew into another Under the Sea. I hope that's not true. No, he didn't. Okay, drew into the lady, which isn't going to help him out too much this turn. But he decides to not take. Interesting. So he decides to not take out Angel with his characters there. So interesting decision for sure. Okay, so Cheshire Cat takes out that Tramp. He'll boost that to take out the Willow. And now Olaf. Okay, so it discards Olaf to activate Angel to take out the other character from Sailor. Okay, so we're going to see a Mowgli Ink here and pass, because that last card in his hand is Under the Sea. So yeah, I mean, Dogs is a strong deck, but there are times that this happens to you here, right? Where you're just like, there's not much you can do. And the Purple Steel player just has the stuff has a lot of stuff to interact with your board, even when things are still readied, right? Like Angel can do things, Cheshire Cat can move damage, Strength does things. So yeah, so we're just gonna see Sailor scoop up here in game 1, and Lux takes game 1 on his end. So we'll let the players shuffle up, mulligan, ready up, and we'll bounce back into game 2. All right, both players have shuffled up, mulliganed, and got everything ready to go here. So Sailor will get to go first this time. And he's going to start off with the Daisy Duck and pass it back over. And we're going to see a Captain Hook played by our Purple Steel player. And we're kind of off and running here, right? Off and running in this matchup. We see the Willow in Sailor's hand. So we decide to ink. I'm assuming that Willow will come down this turn. Okay, so we're going to ink the Tramp, play the Willow, and does he have anything else to play? I don't think so. He does not, so he's going to pass it over. We see that he's running that Mickey Mouse, the Four Cross Mickey Mouse. That card's really interesting, and I think it's that card's really important to Sailor's game plan for what he's trying to do in this matchup. So I'm excited to see how that plays out for him here. So that Mickey Mouse is down now. So that Mickey Mouse gives all of your Amber characters +2 health. And if you have 2 Amber characters in play, Mickey Mouse can sing for 8. So that can sing Under the Sea on its own. So really, really good card because it's just an Under the Sea just slapper. Oh my goodness, we see the second Mickey Mouse come down. So now now even the Mickey Mouses are going to be tough to deal with because they have +2 health. So yeah, it's tough spot here for our Amethyst Steel player. Not insurmountable, but tough spot. Let's see what he ends up doing here. So he inks the Demona. He's got his 4 ink, right? So Genie could come down. Angel could come down. And what's tough for him here is like if he plays Genie this turn, like because of the Mickey Mouse there, he could sing Under the Sea this turn and wipe that out. So he's got to be really careful because, especially with double Mickey Mouses here, he can, he could sing Dahlia Moon and Under the Sea. Okay, we see the Yzma come down. So Yzma's obviously great card. It can be exerted to draw, to get your hand up to 3. So if your hand's empty, you get 3 cards. So we're going to see Nani come down for Sailor. And that's going to allow him to look at the top 4 cards of his deck and pull a character out that costs 1 or less. Unfortunately, he just found Dahlia Moon. But he pulls the Lilo. And let's see what he does from here. He has Go-Go Tamago. I think that might be the ink. Yeah, into the Lilo. And now he'll just pass it off here, I would assume. That's what he does. Yes, this game's just getting very, very awkward here, right? I mean, Sailor's got a massive board. Quest for what? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We see an Elsa come down onto the Mickey Mouse. Yeah, he almost made a mistake there and forgot that the other Mickey Mouse gave it a boost. So it actually has 7 health because of that other Mickey Mouse. Okay, so we'll see the Lexington and the Calhoun swing into that Mickey Mouse. So he'll gain 2 lore off of that for banishing a character with the Calhoun. And Sailor's like, hey, man, you should exert your ink. And now we see the other Mickey Mouse get strengthed. So yeah, this is a big turn for our Purple Steel player. Has really settled the board out here a bit. Let's see what Sailor can do. He has Under the Sea. Do we see Dahlia Moon as well? We might see it. We do see Dahlia Moon come down onto Yzma. He's going to draw for that. He's also running the little rhino, little hamster that would allow him to, it makes him be 1 less, which would be important here as well. There it is. So now he can give that to Calhoun. So now Under the Sea is going to hit everything but Lexington. And we're going to see it cast here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Under the Sea gets cast here now. And so now everything but the Lexington, like I mentioned, is going to be gone. And that's why this deck is so good. Sailor was in a pretty rough spot there after that turn of both those Mickey Mouses getting removed. And then, boom, he's back. And if he had more ink, then he had another Dahlia Moon in his hand that he could have. Or no, he didn't. That's his discard. Excuse me. Okay. But as we know for Purple Steel players, they can refill. They can refill their hands or refill the board and refill their hands. So we see Lux come down with the Christopher Robin and the Calhoun. This game's definitely not over after the Under the Sea. Sailor's just in a much better spot than he was. We're still low lore for both players. We're going to see Dahlia Moon come down as again, just hard casting it. Gives it to the Lexington, which will allow Nani to hit into it and stay alive. If that's what Sailor decides to do. Obviously, he could hit with Lady as well. He could hit it with Rhino. Rhino would be banished of that if he did that. Okay. He's got the lady. He's got the shift Lady in his hands. That's gonna be really important for him to fill his hand. Unfortunately, he's 1 ink off from being able to shift it on that Lady this turn. So it's a bit unfortunate for him. But yeah, again, tough calls, and that's what makes Dogs a tough deck to play. I mean, Dogs, if you're playing against players that are not great, can be a bit more simple to play. But if you're playing against really good players, there's a lot of hard decisions that you have to make. And we see the shift of the lady. I forgot about Willow. So Willow made it so he could shift. So his lady is going to pull 2 characters back out of his discard. Now he's going to quest with Nani and Lady. He's going to start the quote unquote comeback here. It's a great pull for Lux there. He pulls into the Genie into an Olaf. Now he's going to pass. All right, so Sailor pulled Daisy Duck and Rhino out of his discard there. Yes, I guess Lux is still deciding if he wants to quest or not, or hit into anything. Again, tough calls for both players here, right? Because Lux could obviously take out Lady, and that's what he's going to do with the Christopher Robin and the Calhoun. So he's going to gain 2 lore off of that, but do a 2-for-1 trade, which doesn't feel great. Now we see a Tamago drawn for Sailor here. It's not the card he wants, for sure. So we're going to do the Rhino to give -1 attack to that Genie into a Daisy Duck. And we might see some quest here. We are going to see some quest here. At least with Nani, I would assume. Nani and Little Lilo. So he's going to quest for 3. And that Rhino is so important because he's going to have to hit Olaf into the Elsa to take it out because Genie only hits for 1 this turn. And then he'd have to hit with both of them to take out Nani. So really important Rhino play there. And that Tamago in Sailor's hands, he's just hoping that the Genie hits into Nani, right? Because then he would gain 3 off of that Go-Go Tamago play. And that's the best way he's going to see value. And that's exactly what he's going to do. So that Nani's going to get taken out. And then, okay. So Nani was taken out, but then he bounced it back with the Olaf to play it again so it doesn't have the damage on it. That was very quick, but of course the players are talking to each other, so they knew what was going on there. So that erases that value from Go-Go Tamago being gained this turn. However, Sailor his board is getting scary again, right? He's got double Daisy Duck, Rhino, Lilo, Willow there. So just a lot of characters that quest for 2. So Lilo, we're going to quest up to 8. He could quest with Daisy Duck as well to quest up to 10. He's asking to look at the discard there. And again, it's a tough call here, right? Because if you quest with Daisy, you're most likely giving Lux another character, which could be detrimental, right? Like he could draw something he really, really needs. He could draw another Yzma. He could draw into a Demona. Like he could draw into a card draw here. Which would be really tough for Sailor to deal with, because like the reason he's ahead in this game is that he's obviously got the tempo lead here with 5 characters to 1, but both players are also low on cards. So because of that combination, Sailor's in a really, really good spot. And he's got what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he's got seven Singer costs on the board as well. He is going to quest with Daisy to go to 10. I think he pulled an Angel out, which is pretty good. And then we just see the Go-Go Tamago come down, and we're just going to quest out completely, go to 12. So Sailor said, "Hey, I'm just going to put the pressure on you at this point, right? Because he's got what 1, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9 on the board. So he has game on the board currently. Obviously Lux has the stuff to take out the Lilo with the Genie. Like he has value to take out stuff on this board. So like this game is not going to be over next turn, especially with that Angel drawing. But yeah, it's Sailor. I mean, just like any control deck, like at some point you just got to put the foot on the gas pedal and say, "Hey, I'm going to go try to win this game." Because the longer he prolongs it, is the more opportunity that Lux has to like really solidify this board and just like develop. He could develop multiple Angels. He could develop, strength targets, all kinds of stuff there, right? So, so Sailor is really putting his foot on the gas pedal and saying, "Hey, like you need to deal with me. Like I am gonna make you deal with me at this point in the game versus me having to worry about dealing on your side of the board. And of course, we know that Sailor is still sitting there with an Under the Sea. So if Lux really fills the board up with characters that have 2 strength or less, like um, Sailor is just going to be able to get some massive, massive value off of Under the Sea that he can sing now, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So as the board currently sits, he can sing it. Obviously, once something gets taken out here, that's going to change that. But yeah, definitely a tough spot. So Angel comes down, and the Gizmo is inked. Okay, we see the Demona in Lux's hand. So like next turn, that's definitely what's going to come down is the Demona, which obviously the Demona is just going to exert all of Sailor's characters, which is going to allow him to get a big swing turn of value. It looks like he discarded his Crystal Robin to take out Willow. He then takes out the Lilo as well. So Lilo is going to get played from the discard by Sailor. And yeah, I think we're just going to quest out again, right? So we're going to quest out for 4, 5, 6 to get to 18, and then the Daisy triggers are both going to hit. But then he's going to pass it back over to Lux and say, hey, like you got to get rid of everything except for the Go-Go Tamago or the Rhino. Like that's your only options to keep around for you to not lose this game next turn. So tough spot here for Lux for sure. The Demona is not going to do it for him this turn. I'm not sure that anything's going to do it for him this turn. Those 2 daisies are a big problem for him with the 4 health. Demona gets inked. Yeah, he's just in a really rough spot here. Really rough spot. If there's only 1 daisy, I think there's a chance that he survives here. But I think the double daisy there is what's going to really cause some problems here for him to stay in this game. He has a lot of ink to play with though, for sure. So, all right. We see the Diablo is going to get discarded here to activate Angel. Maybe not. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So he discards the Diablo to put 2 damage onto the Daisy. I think he's only out here to be to like draw strength. I think he just drew another Angel, which is not terrible. He did draw another Angel. So he could play that in Ink. And then that would take that out. I still don't think that does it though. Okay, another Angel comes down. So activate that, get rid of the Daisy Duck. He could then swing. Yeah, it's just not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough. So Sailor takes game 2. And again, I was like, man, if he somehow gets out of that, it's going to be really impressive. So Sailor takes game 2. We will let the player shuffle up before we go into the all-deciding game 3 of the Ink Inc finals. We'll join you back whenever the players are ready. All right, so we are into game 3 here between our 2 players. So Lux gets to go first here. He obviously he got to go first. He got to choose to go first in the series because he was a higher seed. You see him at 10 wins and 2 draws versus Sailor has 10 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. So going first here in the finals is a huge advantage. Let's see if Lux can turn this into a win at the finals, which would give him a North American Continentals invite, which Sailor got to attend last year. So let's see how this game goes. It's funnily enough, it's opened up the exact same way it opened up last time. We see a Captain Hook in a Daisy Duck. So same 2 cards that we opened up with last game. Might even been the same from game 1. So just both players It's a good opening, so why not just keep it going, right? So we're gonna see the Lexington inked into an Olaf, questing by Captain Hook, excuse me, and pass it over because he knows that Daisy Duck's not gonna swing into that Captain Hook. We see Willow come down, and we might see a second Daisy Duck from Sailor here. A lot of options here, obviously. Could go Daisy or could go into a dog here. Decides to go into the lady off of that Willow play versus the Daisy Duck. You know, either option was fine. Decided to go with the dog instead. All right, so this board for Sailor is starting to build out here. 3 characters on his side of the board on turn 2. Value's always there for the dog player. We're going to see Demona get inked into a Lexington. So Lexington's obviously a really nice card for Purple Steel in this matchup. I mean, just in general, it's alert, so you can attack evasive characters on your turn. And also, like, it's a 4/4, 3 cost. Like, can take out a Daisy Duck, can take out a Genie, can take out a Dumbo. Like, can take out a lot of cards and still stay alive, which is really good. So let's see. He's gonna go and quest with the Olaf and pass it over to Sailor. So again, every turn that Grandmother Willow activates, so whatever he plays first this turn will cost 1 less. Sitting on 2 ink currently, can ink down to 3. And that's where I think this dog deck gets pretty complicated. It's like, when do you decide to ink here, and like, what do you ink? Because almost every card in your deck has a reason to play it, which is so it's hard to choose your ink decision. So he tosses down the Daisy Duck into the Tramp there, right? So we get a turn 3 Tramp, which feels good. And there's nothing that Lux can really do about it at this point, right? Just with the way that Sailor's curved out here. So obviously Sailor gets to draw 4 cards and has to discard 4 cards. So he discards Dahlia Moon, Lilo, Rhino, and something else. I can't say what the 4th card is because the glare of the lights, but I think it was another Tramp. Could be wrong there. So yeah, we didn't see what he pulled, but for him to get rid of Dahlia Moon, I think he already had one in his hands. If he pulled Under the Sea, this whole board for Lux might get taken out next turn, which would feel awful, especially now that he played Genie. The Genie play would allow him to sing Dahlia Moon onto Lexington and hit it Under the Sea. So we're going to see the Olaf quest again to go up to 2 or 3, excuse me. Well, we have another Tramp in Sailor's hands. That's really interesting. So we can play that for 1 next turn. I don't think he found Under the Sea. So yeah, he just he just gets to fish for whatever card he wants out of his deck, which is why this deck is so powerful. Is the ability to just find those cards when you need them. See, Lux trying to decide if he quested or does anything else there. He decides to just pass it over. And so let's see what Sailor does this turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's got 6 cards on the board. So you can play Tramp for 1, which is a crazy sentence just came out of my mouth. So you can play Tramp for 1 and try to find that Under the Sea again, which I think is what he's going to do. He still has Dahlia Moon in his hand. So if he finds Under the Sea, the board's just gonna be completely wiped for Lux, and Sailor's gonna be sitting on 7 cards on this board. Okay, Dahlia Moon onto Lexington, draws. Maybe I'm wrong, and he doesn't have that Tramp. Could be. Could be wrong. He didn't have it. Okay. Plays lady. No, he did. Okay. Okay. So he has the tramp. So he was just maximizing his draw here. So now he gets to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards. Okay. So so he found Under the Sea, and that's obviously what he's going to play with Tramp and Daisy Duck. And now he can quest for 3 with Lady and Daisy. Daisy Duck will get a trigger here for Lux, and okay, a Yzma. That's not the worst card for him, but Sailor's board is just outrageous here, right? Like he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 characters on the board. Just wipe Lux's board completely out. He quests for what? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. I guess. Wow. Okay. Wait a second. Let's recount. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 14. So he can get to 18 next turn. That's absolutely insane. If he top decks the Tramp, the one that allows him to give another character attack based on how many cards on the board, like Lady would be able to hit for the game would just be over. So yeah, again, it's just a powerless dogs deck. It's why it's so frustrating to play against. Is like, what could Lux really even do? What could he actually do? What could he actually do to protect himself against that? Like, not much, right? Because you're like, oh, I play characters that have more than 2 attacks so that I don't get tramped or I don't get Under the Seed. It's like, well, just kidding. Diamond's going to hit and you're still going to get Under the Seed. Now it was tough that he decided to play Genie versus playing Yzma on 4 ink there. That allowed that a little bit easier of a value swing there. But yeah, I don't really know where Lux goes in this situation to stay alive. Like, he can't really affect the board this turn unless he plays an Angel, and then that point, like, he's gonna take out 2 lore for Sailor, so he only gets to 16. Like, yeah, not a lot that can be done this turn for him, which is so frustrating. He's just gonna play out Christopher Robin, Diablo, Calhoun, pass it over. Sailor's gonna quest to 18. And we'll see a double Daisy trigger, so Olaf and Elsa. And he passes it over to him. And yeah, it's like, well, can you clear the whole board? No, he does not. So we see the handshake. And so Sailor takes down the Ink Inc CCQ. So congratulations to Sailor. Obviously, I'm biased. I love Team Maelstrom. I love Sailor. So really excited for him. We'll see him at the North American Continentals Tournament. And listen, if you've watched this and you're like, man, I want to learn how to play dogs. Like I want to learn how to play. I've never played it. I want to learn how to play it. Sailor's actually hosting like a masterclass video like tomorrow. So today's Tuesday, the 3rd of March. So he's coming out with it tomorrow on the 4th. So even if you're watching this afterwards, you can go to his Metafy and watch that video afterwards. So really exciting to learn from one of the best. If you've ever bought one of his guides, his red-blue or blue-green guides, they are so in-depth. Like, they are just pages and pages and pages long of like all the information that you need to play these decks. So definitely worth checking it out. Promise I'm not sponsored by them or anything. Like, I just big fan of the content. That's what I've used to take the DLCs and set championships and perform well with them. So definitely check that out if you want to play dogs. But yeah, congratulations to Sailor. We'll see him at North American Continentals, like I said before. If you made it this far in the video, appreciate you sticking around. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. And we're gonna keep having more Lorcana content as this kind of set rolls around, and we'll see if dogs ends up being the dominant player of the set, or if something comes around to upset the puppies. So anyways, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.